Hi, and welcome back to this new segment of Back and Body Hurts, where we shoot the shit. And this is the second edition to it. And we have our lovely guest today here. We have Ralph
Oh,
and Steve.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. So these people have, I met them through Just Streaming, and they threw down one of the sickest set they I've ever
Thanks,
seen.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Steve here is a great showmanship, showman type of show, I would say. And then Ralph
Ralph.
here, and Ralph here does a lot of live beats. How do you say it? Assembly beats?
I would say so.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
EDM but live. I
Yeah.
guess, a little bit.
And check them out on TikTok and Instagram. So they are very very talented in their craft.
Oh, thanks, dude.
So I actually want to bring up like, because right on this episode I was researching a little bit on both of your Instagrams and all your content that has been published. So I wanted to talk a little bit on Steve when Arm& Hammer was looking for an opener, and you had that whole skit of like trying to get their attention.
Yeah, that's pretty
did,
funny.
Yeah. Did you get any feedback from them or?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get any feedback. But the good thing is that a lot of people who were non-followers of my account started following my account because they thought,
Organic.
yeah,
Organic,
organic.
yeah.
So it was Instagram still has some good organic reach. And I got some like good feedback from the people outside of it. But unfortunately, I don't think Arm& Hammer saw it, because what ended up happening is that what they did, instead of looking at other channels, they just looked at the Facebook comments,
Right.
and then they just chose a person with the most amount of tags.
Interesting.
Wow.
Feedback
Unfortunate.
For
Yeah.
Arm & Hammer and
Yeah.
their team.
I know, feedback. You should definitely check out the people who tag you and make full-length video for it.
So you do have a bit of like not a bit, but you do come from a marketing background. So any insight on like getting followers or like traction? How are you working on that for your own brand?
I guess one thing I could say to break it down to like three things I'm really doing. One of the things that helped me gain a lot of traction, new followers, is like doing collab posts. So like collab posts with Just
Mm.
Streaming. And I also did a collab post with the TRC forum, the one on Facebook, TRC,
Right.
Toronto Rave community. If you don't know about that one,
Yeah, you have to as a Toronto.
Yeah.
that's where you sell your tickets, and that's where you
Yeah.
get your tickets to, or you get scammed, unfortunately.
Well, we all are victims of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Lost that $40. But yeah, like TRC is a really great, like, because I've done a lot of like video recording at venues, and then they really want to use one of the videos that I took at an event I was at, and then when we both collabed, I got a huge upsurge of like people following in. And so that's like the number one thing. The second thing is just like taking a look at what other popular people on IG do. So I try to copy that as well.
Right.
And then the third thing is just like coming up with random ideas. So a
Right.
lot of times I come up with like something that I think would be fun,
Mhm.
and then I would put it out there, and then I would see what kind of engagement.
Yeah. I especially like the one that you took your own kayak into the middle of Lake
Oh, yeah.
Ontario.
that one I saw.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just played a few songs on it, and I thought it was pretty funny. So like your gigs right now have a lot of type of showmanship acts into it. So like we were talking earlier before this podcast episode that sometimes you get flagged from YouTube Facebook comments. So like what do you think, like people think that they understand a lot on showmanship with behind the decks, and also like what's the ratio between like entertaining the crowd and also like trying to do work on the deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's interesting because most people always expect that the DJ's always DJing.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
hands are on your deck. You're looking at the waveforms and making
Mhm.
sure everything matches, which is true.
Right.
But there's always gonna be a part of the song where it's like as well, like you have a good 30 seconds or 60 seconds of like there's nothing else to
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
because
exactly,
you
yeah.
still have to wait for the other drop to come in, and
You also
Or-
need to wait for the build up and
yeah,
things
for
like that,
the
yeah.
build up. So then, because I come from more theater background, so I took theater in school, And then I ended up going into marketing because my parents didn't think theater would be
Mhm.
a lifelong career.
Mhm.
But I still did it. I still joined theater clubs. I actually did a few courses at Second City doing improv.
Oh, I think
Uh,
that's like
Oh,
you
cool.
said, an extracurricular, right?
Yeah,
You took
yeah.
on, yeah.
Yeah, like doing Second City improv is actually what helped me sort of build out like random ideas, because then they teach you to just like go with something and then just do it. So
Yeah.
Second City's biggest thing is like what they call yes and. So then that's how you continue the stories. Like, oh, I have this, like, you came with a whole box of like rosé and all these different drinks. It's like, yes, and what will we do with this next? Okay, we're gonna keep going with like
That's
we're gonna
cool.
have the drinks here.
Mhm.
And then you just continue the story. So that really helps your brain develop that creative juice. And in improv, we always branched off each other's stories. So then you would say a story, then
Yeah.
I said yes, and like you have this little
It was
silent
a
fidget
toy.
toy. Like, yes, I also have fidget toys at home, and then you branch off the
Continue.
stories.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I think I've like heard of like kind of like acting courses where like people would just sit all together and then they go down the
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how that all ties in together with like showmanship is that uh a lot of times I'd be listening to a song and then I would think about like, how would I want to like as an audience dance? And then sometimes when like if the DJ is dancing, sometimes I feel like it does kind of help the audience, like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
okay,
100%.
like how a lot of times people are like, how do you dance to drum and bass? It's so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So then if I'm just doing something, they're like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
like
they follow
I'm
it,
gonna
yeah.
follow that because that's
Mm.
pretty simple moves.
I was also just thinking that because from the panel's perspective, after doing this for a while, like I started raving like 2 years ago, so it's not actually, I'm pretty new in terms of raving. Like some of my panels have, like Christine has done it for much longer than I do, but then like I kind of feel like when you are behind the decks, you dance to how you feel about your music, that you project out into crowd. So when people can see how you dance, right, then they can copy and feel the way how you want to feel, how you want them to feel in your music, right? So then after that, moving on to like Ralph, where he's pulling up the Ableton box, right, grid, and then
Yeah.
how you gonna like do all of that with like trying to create the beats and putting on the bars and also do the showmanship at the same time, right? So like that could be a challenge.
It's
And-
definitely experimental at this stage. I haven't
Yeah.
done it that much. I did the show at Pizza Party and then a
Mhm.
second show in Montreal. And it definitely is a little bit tricky to do both.
Mm-hmm.
I think like pressing all the buttons and stuff, feedback I've gotten is that it's fairly like it's cool to watch, but there is that importance of showing showmanship as well, because you do need to, it's like you're a leader of the party, right?
Yeah.
The more energy you present, the more that they feed off of you. And it kind of is just this feedback loop. So I think part of my challenge is like, where do I have those moments? How do I get away with like regular, because like DJing is kind of like, mixing and kind of pressing play and you kind of like the song play, while doing it live, I feel like, I don't know if this is actually true, but it feels like there's an aspect of how much how much of it is a backing track and how much is he playing, and
Right,
like
yeah.
what part of this is fake. Now, and that being said, like I don't really know, because like all the feedback I've gotten has been great, but like it's that is the challenge. And I think like having showmanship is a very important part about putting on a good performance. Just like when I go to a show, I want to be entertained.
Right.
And I love shows where the DJ's getting into it, the visuals are insane. My favorite shows are actually probably rock shows, just because like
yeah.
they're doing that shit live and they're going crazy and they're going into the crowd and stuff.
They have so much energy,
I
and then
think
there's like
so good.
production is off the charts.
It's
too.
so
Yeah.
good. I
I
love
think
it.
a lot of EDM DJs like rock.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
A lot of I've like seen quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock bass hits and then
Yeah.
like the hit banging.
Exactly.
It's a
and
translation.
Yeah. I think
The
they
mosh
do marry.
pits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graduate into
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for a concert, between like concerts and EDM, like concerts always have that gap in between songs,
Mm,
whereas like
mm.
EDM you have a constant
Build up.
Yeah.
one song in quotation for the full hour. You know what I mean? There's no stop in between. So like going back to your point where you try to break down the songs in Ableton tool and putting it up, you could technically like hack
Have a
it
break, yeah.
by putting like a backtrack that is longer than 30 seconds, so you can like do showmanship by pressing one button that you actually build up that length that you know for sure in that 30 seconds you can provide audience engagement
I
maybe.
think so, yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, but then like from looking at your TikTok account, you actually transition from making dub tracks of current remakes of songs to like whether you can turn it into a villain kind of song, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty. I thought that was like pretty good niche. That if
Thank
you can
you.
translate that to like
Yeah.
how you are able to build that song up, and then people say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know this Clarity song, but why does it sound so weird?" You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I forget who discovered you from like the Just Dreaming friend group, because I know you already had some traction like before you met everybody from Just Dreaming. Yeah.
Honestly, the first person I met with was Alex Cade.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what happened was I knew Alex Cade from social media. We talked to each other. And then at the same time I was networking. I was just trying to, I don't know, people said you should network. Yeah, meet people. So I went around, met a bunch of people, and then I finally went to I was on I think it was Eventbrite to search EDM, saw Rec Room. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. It must be like a nice small event, whatever. I forget which one it was.
Was it the Halloween one?
No, it was a while back. One of the
First?
It
No.
was the year before.
Yeah.
I forget now. Inferno, I think. Rave Inferno.
Ah.
A while back. And the person I messaged the group and I thought I was talking to Aaron, but I was actually talking to Jeremy. And then I remember I go and I'm like, hey, can I speak to the promoter? And then they just showed
speak
me
to your manager.
yeah, a little bit felt like that. And then they led me to Aaron. And then I was talking to Aaron like I already talked to him, but Aaron didn't know who I was.
But he's always like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just
oh.
nice.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then-
you.
and then I
Very
saw
thousand conversation.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I saw Alex Cade there, and that was really cool because I was like, oh shit, like I know you from
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff. And then I ran into Jeremy, and he was like, oh, like thanks for hitting us up. And I was like, okay, this kid I talked to.
Nice.
yeah,
You were
so that-
different than I expected.
yeah, exactly.
Quite the story, actually. Yeah. So then from then on, they started recruiting you into Just Dreaming. So did you do the boot camp or you just started playing gigs for them?
It started
No.
off. They just because a bunch of them knew. I think Alex. I forget how it worked. Someone knew that I was on TikTok, and then they invited me over. We did like a production session. It was a small group of us. We were working on like it's the classic like there's one computer, like 3 producers. We all working on the same song. And then they were impressed with what I did, and then they kind of just kept inviting me over. We did a bunch of little like small like kind of DJ parties, kind of just among us. And then they eventually got me on to my debut, which was Rave Cave at Bardem. Before Bardem was Bardem, I believe. And then that's kind of how I started.
It feels like you've been there since the beginning, and then you tell me it was like Inferno. I'm like, what do you mean, Rec? Like, I thought it was like before that. But
Yeah, I think it was it the first Rec Room event? I don't remember now.
Could be.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when Aaron was still running the show.
Very active.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago because like he was on the episode a couple months back, and he was telling a lot of stories about how he started off just streaming and things like that. So it's, yeah, learning about this across timelines and everything. So but I kind of I like that story, right? I do want to learn about Steve's just streaming stuff too. But I do want to touch upon like we were at the before we jump on just streaming part. We were talking about how you transform songs into a more villain state of like the niche genre, things like that, right?
Yeah.
I kind of can see that it's going towards the approach of like sudden death, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's
a
not
little bit.
that sadistic vibes, you know.
Yeah.
You can kind of do it in a way that is different in that sense.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I just want to put that point out. And then for Steve, like, how did you encounter just streaming, and how were you involved in it
Mm.
in that sense?
Yeah, the funny thing with Just Streaming, I started off as just like an audience member.
Yeah.
I went to a few of their shows, and at that time I didn't really DJ at all.
Mhm.
Like the only reason why I got into DJing was because I usually throw house parties, and one of my friends stopped DJing, so I was like, oh, who am I gonna get? And this was like a
What do you
little.
mean stop? Like what happened?
He just like changed,
Gave up? Oh,
like
like,
just
yeah.
like yeah, like he
Uh,
just didn't do that anymore.
Retired.
Yeah, like
Okay.
So I was kind of sad. I was like, oh no, he's not DJing. Who's gonna DJ at the house parties?
That's awesome.
And I thought, okay, I guess I could do it. Like, go on YouTube. Maybe it's not that hard.
Yeah.
And I went to Long McQuaid. I rented an FLX,
Mhm.
and yeah, just like learn little by bit. And I think I definitely would say like the best YouTube channel that I watched was this guy named DJ Carlo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
DJ
the-
Carlo is
he's
so
the-
good.
yeah.
So if you hear this DJ Carlo, like,
yeah, he loves his scratches.
it
I
like
love
your
DJ
lessons actually
Carlo,
helped me
he's
out.
so
So
sick.
got me started. Yeah, people were like, "How'd you start
Yeah.
DJing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's on the YouTube."
Here are your
Watching
top
YouTube called-
5 transitions.
yeah.
Exactly. I was like watching DJ Carlo on YouTube, and yeah, so that's how I got started. And then Devin
Mhm.
Nguyen, he
This is Just Streaming's #1 fan.
yeah, Devin.
Devin's the best.
Devin's like so high energy, and he always liked whenever I do my glow stick stuff.
Right.
He was your hype man.
Yeah, the hype man.
What a
So it's like we're
guy.
both hype man. Then he's like, yeah, Just Streaming actually is looking for like more artists to join the group.
Mhm.
And then I joined, and then shortly after that, they had the Veld after party last
Right.
year.
yo.
Oh, I was there. I was there. I
Yeah.
think that's when I started following you on Instagram. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, like because I kind of in a way just emerged out of nowhere.
Mm.
And that was a fun show because it was very small, intimate, and it was a good way of getting introduced into being on stage again. Because I always wanted to be on stage. Because back in my theater days when I was in school, like going to theater clubs, you'd have so many people that can be able to manage the show, put it on, and everyone's collectively in there. But after that, when I graduated, went to business, you kind of lost that ability of like, where can I go to be on stage
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
Mm.
So Just Streaming was sort of that launching pad of getting back on stage.
It
Mhm.
hit the nerve.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that need to like perform again.
Yeah.
Love
So
it.
I mean that performance is like doing music, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
okay, because like there are like open mics for stand up comedy. Because
Yeah,
I've been trying to get some courage to actually go on it,
Oh,
but
wow.
like, I don't know whether I can do it because like I actually didn't put any much effort of writing my jokes down and things like
Mhm.
that to like practice, you know.
Yeah.
But I love going to comedy
Ooh.
shows and
Cool.
and watching comedy.
Who's your
and-
favorite comic?
Who's my favorite comic? It was pretty hard to tell. I mean, I grew up with Russell Peters.
Mhm.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
all of
had-
us did.
yeah, Russell Peters.
And then you moved here.
and then I moved here. Then I find out that where I come from, Malaysia, has a lot of talented comics coming up too.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
Dr. Jason Leong, pretty good.
Mm.
And then Ronnie Chang is also from Malaysia.
Oh.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So it's like there are a lot of different types of like depends on what kind of comic do you like because like Bill Burr is
Mm.
very truthful in his way of like delivering stuff, right?
I like the
So-
generational trauma ones.
yeah, yeah. And when they bring back like when they build up the whole art of like doing a stand-up comic is different, right? Because
Yeah.
you try to set up your joke at the start to deliver the punchline at the end, and
Mm.
that takes serious skill of like storytelling.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so I feel like by going to raves also kind of have a very similar tone to that, where if you are on stage, you as a DJ or as an artist, right, you kind of want to tell your story from start of your set to the end of the set, but you just don't have the punchline. The punchline is a big drop of like climax thing, right?
Mm.
So that's why on the panel I always tell like the people that they come on, I feel like going on a set it's like reading a storybook, right? You have your main starter, then your rising action, and then your climax, and then your resolution after that, right? So it kind of feels like that when you are in that groove and that flow, but then once that is just scratching the surface, Then once you dive in deep into the genres, you feel like, oh, house has the graph of like getting you up and setting you on the trance state of a groove state, and then you just stay there all the way until the end of the set. You know what I mean? And then whereas like bass, you bring up to the peak and brings
Drop
you
it
all
to
the way
Yeah, it's just
down, and
like
it goes
Mm.
up this oscillating,
Yep.
thing,
Mhm.
and that's just naming a few genres, right?
Mhm.
So and like that is just scratching the surface, then going on to different types of things that makes it unique, makes it how to bring your uniqueness, your niche into the craft, right? Those are all the baselines into that.
Mm.
So I feel like, if you want to be on stage and want to perform, you just have to do it just to try.
Mhm.
But I am trying it in a different manner of perspective. I am technically on stage here,
Yep,
and my
this is
audience
all
is
on
also here,
stage.
right?
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
you are performing
It
in
is
that
true.
sense. Yeah.
There is a lot of like putting yourself out there on social media. Like even me, I've done it for a bit, but like I still get nervous, a
Mhm.
little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
There's
Yeah.
still a little bit of anxiety there. There is a need to do it, so because otherwise you're not moving the needle if you aren't. But
Mhm.
yeah, I get it. This is like, this is technically the work. It's a funny derivative of the stage, but
Yeah,
it's still kind of the same.
Yeah, and even
exactly.
in theater, like you always get warmed up. So usually before a show, we do like a few theater games to get people warmed up, like storytelling thing, or we're just doing like passing back, like what we call zip zap zop. So it's
Yeah.
like this, and the person passes to another person. There's just like things like to get you warmed up because no matter what, like as a performer, like everyone will always say they get nervous in the beginning, and then when you get yourself warmed up, especially when you have a group of people, that makes it easier. But as a DJ, it's a little bit harder because then you're just like
Mm.
Yeah.
this is your set, this is it.
This
Yeah.
is
Like
it.
no one else is really kind of like hyping each other up, because then once your set comes on, it's like you come on, and then you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Mm.
essentially like write yourself a program, and then once you go on stage, you just play that program. Like
yep.
step 1 is this, step 2 is this, and you do this to go into step 3, and then things like that. It transitions all over that. So how comfortable can you get in that segment to engage in the crowd, to be a little bit more humanized, say,
Yeah,
in that sense, right?
a lot
So
of
it's a little bit different.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of practice because like I also did Second City stand up comedy, which you should also do too. Because
Yeah.
like the cool thing about Second City stand up comedy is that it's not that you're spouting jokes all the time, but like they teach you the mechanics of a joke, and then every day you're kind of writing, so you get that that
That flow, yeah.
that flow into it, and then how that sort of ties back to like DJing stuff. It's like Just Stream was kind of like that too, where they have boot camps now, they have training sessions, and then what ends up happening is that like they get you ready for the show, and then when you're up there, that's when like whatever practice you've done, how much preparation you've done will be how good you will perform.
Right.
And even with like when I did stand up comedy, it's like you're just practicing your set,
Yeah,
your bit.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why in doctor, like residency, they say it's practice, not as like not doing your job, but we are practicing all the time. So I think,
practice medicine.
yeah, I
I-
practice DJing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
What's
sense.
your
now.
practice?
Yeah.
Music.
Right, what's my practice? Music. Yeah. So Steve, like you talk about showmanship and improv and whatnot. Like going to your sets, you bring out all kinds of props. You bring out the smoke gun, you bring out the bow and arrow, you bring out the
The
you
bow and
bring
arrow
out
is
the
wild.
laser laser grip. Yeah. So like I feel like you have this box of props that you bring to shows now, right? And then you just bring out whatever you want in that
Yeah.
thing.
I
So
I feel
how
like soon he's gonna start designing them.
That'd
Yeah,
be
I'm
so
worth- I'm
cool.
thinking some ideas up. But yeah, like the box of props. A lot of times it kind of ties into some of the songs that I'm playing, like like Satisfaction.
right.
When it gets to the buildup, it's like Satisfaction,
right.
and then that's why I pull the
The-
the fog cannon. And yeah, just like coming out with different ideas, and a lot of there are like two areas that inspired me for actually 3 areas of what inspired me to bring up props. One of them is whose line is it anyway?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that show.
So yeah, they have
yeah,
the,
scenes from a hat.
the
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
the funniest parts is when they take props and they make it used into the scene. That's really
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah.
And I knew I always wanted to try that out. So I use the props and try to make it work with music. Like especially when people are headbanging, sometimes the place we're at doesn't have a rail. So then that's why I thought of the lightsaber. So I put the lightsaber out, and then we're all just using the lightsaber
Right. Yeah.
as a rail.
Yeah. Well, you know what Aaron does for his badminton club?
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
brings out the
rail, the PVC.
the PVC pipe
Yeah.
rail where you use to learn how to skate, and then he uses that to hit bang. And so
That's
it's
so
like it's
funny.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
you're continuing on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
And then this like the other areas that funny things that rails actually the longer one is a ballerina.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude.
but yeah,
Whose is that? Wow.
it's so at that badminton place they have like a ballerina class.
Oh,
and then
what? They
that-
took it? They asked for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to the person who stole Aaron's mahjong table. They never found it, right?
Oh no, really?
Oh, I think they brought it back. They're probably like, oh, I don't do this.
No,
Dude.
probably because it's on social media now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Crazy stuff, but yeah.
But yes, props. You were
Props.
saying that you brought the laser the saber thing to act as a
As a
thing.
rail.
Yeah.
And other areas that inspire me also is like there's this other DJ named Wukong.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has a whole bunch of stuff that he always brings up sometimes, and that's where I got the idea of the fog cannon.
Mhm.
Because then he also has like certain songs where it's like the build up, and then he just blasts people. And his is like a industrial grade fog cannon, so this thing can reach far. It's like shh.
Wild.
And I'm like, whoa! And then I see people going crazy for it, so I thought, well, what if I get a fog cannon?
Is that
From
expensive?
it wasn't too bad. I got it from like AliExpress. So
Yeah, classic.
AliExpress is like 1/3 the price of like
Everything else.
everything else. So it's
Yeah.
actually
I
wasn't too
can't
bad.
believe you can get a fog cannon at
Yeah,
AliExpress, dude.
I was looking at it like fog cannon.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Everything's possible there.
yeah. And then all you need is a CO2 canister.
Yeah.
And those CO2 canisters actually they use that for like making beer, the CO2 or like
Ah.
drinks and stuff.
Mhm.
Soda
so
stream.
yeah, it's a soda stream. So you can get like a much larger version, and that's why I come in a suitcase. So I put it in there, and then
Kind of sus.
I know, right? People were like, "What the hell is he bringing a suitcase on the stage?"
Yeah.
But when I brought it out, people were like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
spray me, like do it." And I was like, "Okay." I was surprised. So it was a very like
So cool.
happy discovery that people like it.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be, I guess, incorporated into my shows.
Have
And
you used it outside of Snake Eyes?
yeah, I used it for my birthday,
Nice.
and then whatever venues are like they allow having a fog cannon, then yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I'll
fair
use
Oh,
it
so
more
you do ask them.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I can't. I feel like I'll get in trouble if I just whip it out, and they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So like you talk about Wukong and things like that. Bring out props. What about Steve Aoki throwing cakes at the end of the set?
Yeah, no, Stevie Aoki throwing cakes is pretty fun. Like, just watching other DJs just like have some unique stuff that comes out, or like they're just jamming and dancing, and a lot of it, a lot of inspiration I take is like sort of like from drama theater background, of just
Right.
being in the moment, being present. Because like when you're DJing, and if you're just looking at like you're focusing so much on the set, but then there's also part of it where you have to like rile up the crowd, because
Yeah.
now you're not just a person playing music, now you're an entertainer. So like people will remember how much fun they've had the more that you're able to entertain them, not
Mhm.
just with like song selection, your transitions, but also what kind of other stuff do you like to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because like there's also a difference between like the the party type of rave, and there is music listening type of rave, right? So for example, like going to a trance set, you don't go there to like party, you go there to feel the journey, right? And then going to a afterlife set, you also technically go there for the journey, but then since it's like so mainstream, people go there for the party as well. And then you go towards like closer to like Steve Aoki, things like that, and people are more to it's like having fun. They just want to go out all out, and then exit with a happy smile on the face. So I presume that you are in that
Mm-hmm.
region of like trying to be the super hype man, right? Because I've seen all the videos that you have posted on IG that you just try to be as uh extravagant, I would say, like extra
A little
in a way.
extra, yeah.
Extra in that sense, and try to be as much as you. It becomes your personality to be extra. You know what I mean? Because like meeting you in person, like I didn't. I thought that we were just like kind of like normal people, and then when I saw
He's
when
not
I
normal.
saw
He's not
when I saw-
normal. What is he doing?
I saw Steve like, oh, he's pulling out his phone and it's like trying to like do everything. I was like, oh, did this guy have so much energy? And, like it just bugs me in some way.
So in a way, as a theater kid, like you're kind of like it's kind of instilled in your head that you have to like use all the space and the levels, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's good that you mentioned space because it's
Yeah.
like, have you done theater before?
I don't know where I learned it from. I had a few drama classes in high school,
Mm.
probably. Yeah, you need to use your levels, your
Mm.
spaces.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
exactly it.
Yeah, you
project
set
your
up your
voice.
mise en scène.
Yeah, like even if you were to think of like this is the stage, like say if this is your DJ deck, you have like a little bit of space to move around and stuff.
Mm.
So like a lot of times before a show, I try to think about like, okay, do I have enough space where I can go out of the booth and do a bunch of stuff? So mainly at the Snake Eyes event, we had so much space. So then that's like
Yeah.
the stage space, and you think of it as like what they call blocking. So where do you put yourself in the stage part? And then a lot of times it's like you try to figure out, okay, so how much time does it take me to be here and be able to get to the front part of the stage? Will it be feasible? If it's not, then I'd be like, okay, so
Then you jump on top.
or you could jump on top and be like, yeah. But like spacing wise, I actually factor that into sort of when I'm playing my set. I look around the
Your
stage.
floor plan.
My floor
Mm,
plan, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And I think, okay, can I get over there and come back at a reasonable
Mm.
time without like freaking out playing
Mm.
the different songs?
Mm.
So I take that into account, like the theater space using the stage. If it's a small stage, then it's like, okay, well, I'm here.
Mhm.
I'll still like I'll be behind here, but I'll bring out like my bow
Mhm.
as part of a way to rile the crowd up, different props and stuff.
That's very cool. So like Ralph, what kind of background do you come from? Like are you like trying to explore something like what Steve's doing? Cuz like he's trying to use up a lot of the space and stuff, but
Practicing his free will.
sometimes on your live shows you have Cass on, right? Vocalist, like a friend.
Yeah. Cass is
And
great.
yeah, and a vocalist for his tracks. So it's like how do you think of your creativity and like using up the space, or like you just try to stick?
Well, I think it depends, right? Because it depends on what stage you're given.
Mhm.
Like, for example, the Veld AP, we didn't have any space, and then Snake Eyes, we had a lot of space. I think it's about, at least when I approach it, when I'm making a set, a lot of it is what story are we trying to tell at like certain sections, and like, is this a big moment? Is this like a small moment? Is this a moment where we connect? Is it a moment where we're big, that we're trying to headbang or whatever it is? And then when we get there, I think it's about, okay, like we have a lot of space here. That means we can run around.
Mhm.
Running around means, okay, we can like really get the audience going. And if it's a small moment, maybe it's just like we take up a little bit of space, kind of like connect a little bit more. So I think you really have to improvise a little bit. But I think with my sets are very dramatic. I do come from like I didn't do theater. I love drama class in high school.
Mm.
But I also have a metal background. I used to be in a metal band, and
That's
and
why you do the rocker move. You did the foot on the speaker,
Oh,
and
no,
you're like,
no.
and I'm like, this guy probably was in a rock band or something.
Were you the
Yeah.
vocalist or you a guitarist?
I was the guitarist.
Oh,
Oh, no
yeah.
wonder you got
No,
the foot on the speaker thing. Like,
Have you thought about doing your own like
Band.
vocals?
Vocals,
Screaming
I would love.
vocals?
I would. I
Remember
might
we
love to
did some
scream.
at the cottage?
Oh
That,
yeah,
that
we
you year?
did do
I did
that.
some vocals.
That's
and,
true.
and
I
they
forgot about
improv
that.
like a
Oh.
short track, and it was just like.
I forgot about that actually. Yeah. I would
Should bring
love to
back
sing, but I
Mm.
can't. I can't sing.
Then you can
for
scream.
Sure. Maybe I can scream. I might try that actually. But it screaming is so vocally
Yes.
technical.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't
but
hurt your like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts a lot
chords.
of stress.
It's a lot of
into it, yeah.
stress. It's a lot of
Yeah.
like warping it,
Mhm.
compression and stuff. But I have thought about trying to do that. Like, kind of honestly, these days I'm a little bit bored of DJing. That's why I'm exploring the live stuff.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, how do and I do have a very particular sound. So it's kind of like, how do we, how do we, what's the most effective way to illustrate the story that we have with like what we have? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, like we have pads, we have a piano, like maybe we can play live. That's really cool to see. All this stuff. Me and Cass are actually, we have a show in June with, it's called Heroes and Villains. It's like an anime party, and we're working
Wow.
together to try to explore the best kind of put together.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, so that'd be really cool. But yeah, this is all experimental and figuring out. But yeah, it
Do you-
all.
What day and time is it?
I think it's
Sometime in June?
21.
Sometime in June. Sometime in June.
Check his
Okay,
socials.
like put, like, you know, when you edit the video,
His,
it's like,
Yeah.
his
like
his
a picture
DJ
comes up.
His DJ name is Larion, official Larion, right?
Yeah,
official Larion.
official Larian on.
Do you think you're having like a creative block though? Sorry, you could pull it up totally. Like,
That's okay. No, that's
We'll put it out. We'll put it out.
Yeah, put it
Oh,
out.
like the one
It's
those
right
edit-
here.
Those
Yeah.
edits.
Yeah, overlay it right there.
right here. But yeah. Do you think you're having a creative block or you're just bored?
I'm just bored.
Mhm.
Because like, so lately I've been really trying to explore how to get to that next level for like this music career. And
Hmm.
I've been finding that there is like a ceiling when you're like, when you don't produce, and there's a ceiling when you do produce but you don't network enough. And I'm like, and the thing is, like, I don't really network that much, but I produce a lot and I do pretty well on social media. So it's kind of like, okay, what can we do? And I'm still a firm believer that you need to have a fan base. You need to
Mm.
create that, and I do pretty well making a fan base, I would say. I do have some nice dedicated fans. They're so sweet.
Have
Okay.
you named them yet? Are you gonna name them?
Name them? I mean, they have their own names.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like
give-
you mean,
Yeah.
you mean like a,
Yeah,
I don't know.
shout out.
A
shout
fandom
out.
name.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I should maybe I should put it in I have a little Discord. Maybe I should.
Oh
do
wow!
some
I did not
things.
know that.
It's popping off lately, so I'm really proud of it.
Ooh.
Do you,
Yeah,
do you
we need to
believe
make-
in that the music speaks for itself?
You mean as in?
That's very confident if he says yes.
Do you
Yeah.
mean as in you put it out and people will find it, or?
Yeah, put it out.
No,
and
he
people-
knows you know your value, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I think
yeah.
I think that's part of the journey, because
Mhm.
like there's a balance between making music that is you and making music that is actually good.
Oh.
And you need
Wow.
to actually, I feel like the magic is like being right in that middle, like being really good at how to just formulate sound and make it industry standard. And also now that you have those skills, you as a person, your experiences, your life, and then you make music, and it's like, okay, now that's what we want to hear.
So the standard, and then your brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then once that is out, you spend all those time making music, and then the producer, the networking come and see that, and then you kind of kill two birds with one stone,
Yeah, and the marketing.
and the marketing,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
I feel like that's kind of the ultimate, the three ultimate pillars. Because
Mhm.
I've been talking to a lot of people from different sides of the industry, whether it's music or even business. And it seems the name of the game for music is heavily on brand and marketing.
Mm.
Heavily. So
Right.
you need a brand. And like, in simple terms, branding is really just what people expect from you.
Mm.
So you need to, there is a, like, if Dylan Francis just like started cosplaying, it'd be so weird, right? If Skrillex just, I don't know, like started a cooking channel, it'd be so weird.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, you need to, it's just basically effective marketing and also producing good product.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think if you can nail those two things, you've got it.
Yeah, it's
So-
a
And
delicate
networking.
balance. Delicate balance between like creativity and business side.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why a lot of times it's like, when do you get an actual manager to help manage?
Mm.
I think it's when you reach like, because I haven't gone to producing yet, but I feel like for yourself, because you have so much songs that you've produced, and then it gets to a point where it's like you've built up such a fan base, you have your Discord, and then it's like, well, now that, what piece am I missing? It's like, oh,
Exactly.
the networking part and the building of relationships. It's like, that's when do you take the jump into having a manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, this is what I've heard from a bunch of people. And, like, when I mean a bunch of people, I used to work in a music studio and a music school as a social media manager. So I would kind of just, like, hide in the classes and, like, try to learn a bunch of stuff while I was working. And one of the things they keep saying is labels or managers, tour managers, whatever the case may be, they will always come to you when you don't need them anymore. That seems to be the common thing. So the way if that is true, I guess what it requires is I need to, like, start making a lot of money, maybe even doing my own small tour, making my own money, and then someone else will come in and, like, want a piece of that pie, but also like extend it further.
Mhm.
That's what I've heard. That's like kind of advice from, but like at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm at this stage right now, as you said, so it's like, okay, I need to ask for help. So like I talked to Alex Cade, I talked to like Paper Skies, just like this, this is just networking.
Paper
like
Skies.
yeah, like every now and then I'll like when he's at the Singtons, I love picking his brain. And just anyone who's like I feel who's ahead of me right now. Caslo, do you guys know Caslo? He did a remix for Elenium. Oh, I think he's on Elenium's thing. Really cool
yeah.
feature bass producer. I'm kind of talking to him right now. But like I think it's just a matter of like once you've hit that ceiling, I think it's a matter of like just ask somebody.
Yeah,
And that's
I
where I'm
think,
at.
yeah, because if anybody wants to get a piece of that pie, they were just willing to do it.
Yeah, because I was also gonna. I think you kind of answered the question I wanted to ask. Because with the traction you've been like kind of consistently having on your like TikTok, I was wondering, I'm like, would the rule of thumb be keep doing what you're doing to hit a higher ceiling? But I think now you're reaching out for more help to kind of boost you to go further, right?
Yeah. I think
Our Canadian TikTok doesn't have the payment system, does it?
No, they
No,
don't.
man, because he got like 1 million views
Yeah.
on one of his like posts.
Yeah.
It's
This
at
is where
one,
you,
it's
like,
at
put the-
1.8 right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's blowing my
Yeah.
mind.
You're
It's
like, oh, your phone's
crazy.
probably like
It is
like,
a little
comments
bit.
are like-
Yeah,
Do you have notifications on mute and then you just
a
go
little
in?
bit.
Yeah.
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 It's cool that TikTok will mute them after a while, so you just
Oh.
don't check.
See this? We won't know this because we haven't gone viral.
Yeah, we haven't gotten
so-
that level yet. but we
30,000
will.
comments.
That's so funny. I check DMs though, so it's okay.
Oh wow!
I
Are
don't-
there weird DMs?
Sometimes.
Oh, like really like explicit photos, or like,
Oh,
can you
no.
send me like a sock or something?
Now you know how Eunice feels.
A used
Yeah,
sock?
it must-
Unicycle.
Eunice
Yeah.
must
Shout out to
get
Eunice.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get like one. Oh man, I hope they didn't look at this podcast.
No, this is shoot the shit. We've been too polite this episode.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I had one DM that was like, "Oh, I loved it, my pet."
Wait,
Like,
what?
okay.
They called you my pet?
Yeah, I'm attracting book talk right now, so I think they kind of overlap.
Oh, is this
weird-
like those fanfic people? Oh my
Yeah.
god, they're
Wow.
probably
Yeah.
just gonna put you in like some storybook. It's like,
maybe?
like I met,
It's
I
the
met,
long
like,
hair, probably.
Oh
Is
my-
it really?
The Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
How does
The
your partner
prince of
feel about
villain.
this?
She is happy for me, and she's also like, he's mine.
That's true.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's taken, guys. He's
Yeah,
taken.
He's taken.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did say like that whole overlapping and things like that. It's very insightful in that sense. And by approaching like believing what is that, music speaks for itself. I mean, you can say for a lot of artists out there that's on tour right now that they do have artist manager, and sometimes they may have ghost produce hire for some ghost producers and things like that. So like you only have 24 hours in a day and a few hundred in a week, right? So you have to really use your time, and especially that the clubs and the shows are only happening on the weekends, right? So and Monday to Friday you have to do a lot more things than just like producing music,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
talk to people and things like that. So it's a whole job.
It's a whole
Yep.
thing.
Yeah,
It's a whole
yeah,
thing.
it's
You
a
have to
whole
push it.
thing, yeah.
Like anybody getting into music, like I had no idea that this is what it's.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people who are just discovering how much it's taking. Some people don't even understand, and it's like, yeah, this is a lot of work
Mm.
if you want to make it. depending on how big you want to make it, but like holy shit, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
I find it's worth it, but I can see how it would seem daunting for someone at the bottom, but like it is really nice, and the journey is sick, right? Like, you know, we've met you guys, we're in such a good company, we're
Yeah.
always in good company, you find your people, which is really cool. So like it's not that like it's hard and difficult and it sucks all the time. It's just long, and you really have to push yourself, you know. Like I stopped gaming, I don't game anymore. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day on the grind.
wow.
And then like a lot of like putting myself out there, failing a lot.
Yeah.
You do have to develop a lot of grit, but I feel like it is the ultimate like character development kind
Yeah.
of journey, which is so sick.
I think in general, from like all the episodes we've done and like networking, what I've noticed is that like Toronto is a better spot to start off with because the community's so welcoming.
Yeah.
It's a lot more cutthroat in like places like New York City
Really?
and West Coast, like California, like that.
Is it really? Damn.
Like I feel like it's a little more closed off, and since the scene's been like kind of seasoned there for a longer while, like people are like kind of guarding their resources a little more.
That's
Gatekeeping.
crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So like
crazy.
I think it's Toronto's a very great place to
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the same feedback. Like
Oh,
another
really?
Really?
friend who like he just DJs for like fun indie kind of music, and that's all he does. And he said like, yeah, Toronto is like you can throw a random indie music party at some bar, invite a bunch of friends, or like try to like make it a bigger event, and people are more forgiving of it if it's like
Yeah.
if it's not like some crazy big production. But there's like so many things that go on around Toronto, and I feel like it is very open on like the type of things that you throw.
Yeah.
There's no events.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are you planning to throw?
I definitely want to throw an event where it showcases like more live music, because like when we did the pizza party, people were like, "Whoa!"
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
I was like,
Yeah.
they were amazed, because then like the way you performed was that it didn't look like there was like a backtrack. You actually were like
doing the
like almost like
stuff.
a
Oh,
People
Fred
cool.
again.
knew you were working.
yeah,
knew
like
you
you
were
were
working,
like
yeah.
you're like this and
It's
your
all the mistakes I
laptops,
was
and you're like,
making.
holy shit, there's all these things I have to
Yeah.
press.
That's good.
We
We should definitely do a B2B.
oh,
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
How
we
wild
did
will that be?
So
No, I-
Double
he would
dramatic.
he would be behind the decks doing all the
No,
work.
how
and then
about
he's
how about
outside in
role
front.
play? Yeah, role play.
Oh, we
You
should
do-
act on stage.
Yeah.
Oh no, you do the light stick, then you'll like go like screaming.
I'll just
and
press one
stuff.
button on your thing.
Fun.
Like, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next interesting idea is just like showcasing more of like a mixture of some of the live music, because like when Fred again came, people were like
Mhm.
it was super sold out,
Mhm.
and just watching all the people, I wasn't able to go, unfortunately, but I like just seeing all the different videos, all things, people love that stuff, and then he's just like
Yeah,
people were
Fred
going
again's
crazy.
insane.
And he's like
Yeah.
a dot like on
Yeah.
the floor. Like,
Yeah,
I,
everyone's
can,
like,
I was there. I can tell you what he did. He had 4 separate stage on the floor.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Oh.
he started off rising.
Were there
from,
like 4 decks? I didn't even.
No, there was
assume
no
it.
4 decks. So like he rised from one of the spots on the stage, right? So it was
Okay.
like a picture. This is the floor. This is the main stage, and he started rising up from here, playing the piano, soft tune.
Hmm.
After
Wow.
that, he went dark, and he just ran from that part of the stage, and he just ran to the main stage. But he also had like a crew. It
Mm.
wasn't just him. So he had like a supporting crew to play some songs while he ran towards different parts of the stage, and like he was everywhere around the floor.
That's
all
cool.
4 of them.
That
and then he
is-
was like,
yeah.
yeah. So
That
he
is showmanship.
yeah,
that's
showmanship.
dope.
It's like he just planned that whole thing up to be entertaining, right? So
Yeah.
you do not know where you are looking, because like when you see, I was sitting up at a 300 level, right? So you can actually
He was
see.
a dot. Was he a dot?
He was not a dot, but he was more like a,
A blob.
silhouette, yeah. And then you see the
Silhouette.
whole crowd. They do not know the crowd on the floor wasn't sold out, wasn't packed, so like they had space to move around. It was probably intentional, because like Fred again needs to run around the stage a lot. So then when he showed up in different parts of the stage, you can see the crowd just like an army just swarming where he
Cool.
Like,
is, and then he
lies.
goes from there, he goes there, he goes there. So it's like kind of like funny to look at. So it's like that whole planning process just takes up a lot of work, right? To plan a show and things like that. So like your pizza party, that was you, right? Because Aaron actually invited me. So I was like, okay.
I
no,
got
I'll
the
go.
invite, but it was so far from me,
Yeah.
and I don't
It's like
drive,
up
so
North
I will
York.
look forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also invited me to that tea party. That
Light cha
yeah,
party.
that Ivan
Mm.
did. So it was pretty cool. So and I think a lot of these right now we also say on the panel, Toronto has abundance of DJs and like not enough venues and also not enough promoters that would pay properly and also like think so if you are able to want to contribute to the community, host an event and people will attend. Because the other thing we learned about from the panel, people in Toronto love party,
Oh,
love
I
to
thought
party.
free stuff and
And
lines.
no, free stuff in live, and
Like
then
coffee
they
party.
love they love the crowd. They love to party. Thursday night, Sunday morning, you name it, they'll be there,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
wild.
We're
it's
bored.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
it's-
very bored 'cause
Yeah,
of
it's very
winter
boring,
time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Forced to hibernate, you know?
yeah.
Wait, maybe it's a hot take. What do you guys think of the coffee party stuff going on?
Explain the coffee party.
Oh, you haven't seen the coffee party?
No,
It's-
not really.
It's at the Well.
There was
Sun-
one in Liberty Village before that a few months back. Yeah.
So what, like a daytime rave?
It's like a
Yep.
it's like a daytime party. There's like a DJ or DJs that play.
DJs,
yeah.
I didn't go, but I don't know why, cause like it's like not that expensive, right? It's like what
It's like $30 if you
Yeah,
can get the ticket.
if you can get a
or-
ticket. So then it's like everybody's like hot new, cause it's like a pop up type of thing. It's a different location every time, and
Yeah,
it's
right.
so far. I think there have been a few, but the last one was
at the
last two
Well.
was
At the
Liberty,
Well.
and then
Yep.
the one at the Well got viral on TikTok.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
to so
Yeah.
many people.
But people were like, "Oh my god, it was not worth it. The coffee was horrible. The music was
Oh.
whatever." But like in terms of music, like I guess it's subjective.
Mhm.
Also like these people are not all of them listen to the genres that they play.
Mm.
So there's that. But
Mm.
then like it was like, "Oh, I think people were like reselling them for a lot and they oversell and it's like super crowded."
Mm.
But what do you think of those events? I don't know. I guess you can't speak of it cuz you haven't seen it really, but like through my description. And you know-
I
Day
was
parties.
there. I stopped
you
by.
went.
I
Okay.
didn't get a ticket, but because the Well has 2 floors,
it's like-
Yeah.
and at the bottom floor is where they like closed everything off so you can get to it. But at the top floor, because it's like shopping center,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
so
The
you can walk
catwalk.
around.
Tonic and
Yeah,
yeah.
and everyone,
the
a lot of people
catwalk,
just stand on the top. It's like, oh,
It's
I
free.
can see it for free.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
also
Yeah, we went to.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Sunny
Yeah.
and yeah.
We went for a bit, and then we saw that they are playing Afro House. We were like, yeah, we're good.
I
The
think
funny
it's a
thing
trend
is
right
like,
now.
yeah, it's a trending. So one thing I learned from like all my entrepreneurial days is Toronto loves novelty.
Mm.
So
Mm.
coffee parties will probably be very popular for the next 2 to 5 years.
The
And then there's-
cycle.
Yeah, the cycle. It's a cycle, and then something else will overtake the coffee party. Because what's up happening is the coffee party was the first in Toronto that got really big, and
Mhm.
everyone's noticed. Like every event planner organizer has talked about it,
Mhm.
and they're studying it as like kind of a case study of
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
now
the marketing behind it
Yeah.
is massive, right?
It's
They did
because-
so much work
yeah.
on it.
It's
Yeah.
because Toronto loves lines and pop-ups. Like I don't know, you've noticed, like everybody's down for like an hour line to like see this new thing, put it on social media,
Yeah, right.
and like say like you got this, and it's like kind of exclusive, right? Even though it's free, like it's a certain time period, and there's like a certain amount of people because of like space limits or whatever.
Mm.
And as you
Um,
were saying, like the case study for it, like
Yeah.
because of that marketing and whatnot.
yeah, everyone's studying it. Even for myself, I'm like reading and looking at how they did it. And the biggest thing is like the biggest takeaway from this is now we know that people want to do day parties. People don't want to drink as much,
Mm.
and they just want to like have a good time. And having the coffee and the free pastries is like sort of an added on bonus, because now you have like something that you just don't have to like buy for. Whereas when you go to the club and you have to buy like a couple of
Like
drinks and stuff like that.
Buy your friends drinks,
Yeah.
maybe.
And even as an event like planner, you want to plan an event at a venue. They're like, oh, you have to make a minimum of a bar,
Mm.
like the bar tab of like how many people have to buy drinks.
Right.
But with these day parties, it's totally different. Now it's just about like ticket sales and how do we get people to like have fun with like the music.
The coffee party is actually really smart because, like, first of all, you don't need an alcohol license for this type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And when you're talking to venues, like, you know, we were talking about like venues you were looking at, potential venues, but if you're talking about like something like the Well, it's novelty, right? So like they're down to like try it out.
True, yeah.
Or like it's like a new thing, so like there's a lot more opportunity for it. It's like how like the Great Canadian Casino tried it
Yeah,
twice, right?
yeah.
But that one failed. But like for the ones that could keep going, like they were the first ones, and like or like these attendees were the first people to have like a coffee party at the well, or like in a crowded like bar on a Sunday afternoon.
All right,
yeah.
the next one is going to be at Sugar Beach. But I don't know.
that
I'm
one's
just
okay.
well, yeah, and then also like I think people are just tired of the word club because it's
yeah.
like
People have
it's
stopped
as-
clubbing,
yeah,
I
it's
swear.
associated with it. The association with it is like alcohol, maybe some vitamins and things like that, and then like it's like hip hop music and things like that. People want something different, to be unique. At like I've been to the coffee party because that thing was so big to the point that when I was walking the next day to my friend's place around downtown and people on the streets were talking about it. Like, oh yeah, I was at the coffee party yesterday, and like
That was so
and
exclusive.
then like there was
Wow.
the lines for the coffee was like too long, and I didn't even get a pastry or a drink. Just
It was
standing
all
there,
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was
Wild.
like it was different, So like listening to that is a little bit different than somebody saying that, oh, I saw Millennium yesterday night. You know what I mean?
After
So,
like
yeah. So it's very different, especially when you hear it from the streets rather than like a typical meetup point.
That's
for,
so organic.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
from
so
the
organic.
streets.
yeah, from the streets rather than from raving party or like how us as ravers when we go to one rave and we talk about it in the next rave that we all go to at the same time, right? So it's a little bit different in that sense. So yeah, like good job. Like do as much as like all these unique parties as possible. All these venues right now they are offering up their spot. You can do it at a bar. You can do it at a fashion shop like Archive. You can do it at you just have to dare to ask, I guess, and have the money to
Shoot your shot.
That'd be cool.
have the money to put
I feel
the,
like there's some
deposit.
ideas cooking,
Yeah.
Roth.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's kind of like I feel like there's room to be thematic about it, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
Like, I know that you like to have a certain energy. I like to have a certain energy. Like sometimes I wonder what if I did a rave at a church? That'd be sick.
There
was
we
one.
did talk.
There was
so
one-
much fun.
We did talk about the church raves. Yeah, was it
Yeah.
Leanne Roberts? It was like hard techno. They put it
Oh,
at
really?
That was
like
fun.
Yeah.
That's
You went?
cool.
Yeah, that's actually one of my posts I had made went viral because that was the one that I collaborated with TRC because they're like,
Mm.
oh, you're always posting your videos.
Was it
like,
at the church?
Yeah, it was at the church.
Oh.
So then, what they used a video of when like I got a front and center shot, and that was when the lights combined and strobed to the middle part with all the stained glass. And it's just-
Yeah.
Everyone was like,
Oh my
ah.
God, God, I'm
good.
sinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, so one of our most recent episodes we recorded, we actually talked about the church, and like you
Oh,
could
yeah.
look it up. Like there was like a bit of like a discussion, a controversy about like
Oh, really?
having a church rented out
Oh,
as a, like yeah, yeah.
And then the
really?
pastor also actually came out and said that, oh, we needed funds to repair.
Pastor
and,
Pete.
Oh,
and-
okay.
basically
then-
said basically insinuated in a nice way that like the community wasn't helping, so like they had to
Ah.
open it up.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So there are
hilarious.
more communities for
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
Wait,
communities.
where was the church? Was it in Toronto?
Yeah, downtown.
The
Really?
Trinity.
They're
Well,
not
we
getting enough
Trinity-
donations. It's a Toronto. It's Toronto.
Yeah, but they're
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
definitely making, I would like to say, a lot with
lot.
Now
all,
they are.
all
Yeah.
the sold out church events.
There's
yeah.
been multiple events ever since that one was the biggest.
Leanne Roberts one.
Leanne Ramos was like kind of that event pushed it, and then now
Yeah.
everyone's asking that church like, how can we have an event?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should-
That's cool.
ask
Maybe.
as well.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Fits
Yeah, a
the
lot.
vibe.
And
Sound was good. The acoustics
sound was
very
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
The thing about we learned
Mm.
from talking to a lot of event promoters and things like that, all these pop-ups from warehouses to whatnot, the lighting system, sound system, everything is so portable right
Mhm.
now, so you don't actually need
He's
to.
been setting light
Yeah.
systems too.
Exactly,
At
yeah.
like the Tempo Archive Levels Entertainment events. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
doing
and
that.
his own pizza party too.
Yeah.
So like a lot of these things are very portable right now, and like you just need to talk to the right people, and we can hook you up.
I think
if you want
it's
to.
So cool.
it comes with this age too. It's so easy, or it's much easier to access a lot of resources in terms of like, well, maybe 10 years back we couldn't have made this podcast out of the fly because like these equipment like accessories are harder to acquire, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a very creative age. I guess the sky's the limit, or like the police. Yeah, there's a limit.
Yeah. So I mean, like, go ham. Like, make sure it's legal as in some ways.
Your
but,
showmanship.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my issue though, because like I would love to put on these shows, but like I feel like I lack resources. So it's like,
I feel like it's already there.
yeah,
Yeah.
You just need to reach out. But
Just-
I know you are doing that. So
Yeah, okay.
just keep doing
just
it.
keep doing that.
So
Alright.
now that you say it,
This is your
out here-
platform.
yeah, it's your
Manifesting.
platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you said it out loud, we post it on YouTube and everything, you can just share, and then
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
thing you know, people will just reach out to you. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's true. yes.
Anything you guys want to say or promote? Anything coming up? Let's start with Steve.
In terms of things to promote for myself, I have more private events right now. I haven't had any big events. coming up.
Exclusive.
No,
Try
just
to get into his network.
Just birthday events.
I know he does a lot of like friend cottage parties.
Yeah, I do a lot of like private fun events.
Yeah.
But in terms of big events, not yet. But what I could say in terms of looking out for the horizon is in the summertime, definitely gonna do some more collabs or like do
Yeah.
some sort of interesting things. Because I already have a lot of lights, and you also know DJ Malik has a lot of equipment too.
He used
Yeah, he
to
does.
do
Aaron.
gloving.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, so
he's really good at it.
yeah,
I feel like you should learn that.
yeah,
Because
like,
the art has died off.
it has.
The
Because
flow
like
art thing.
no, the gloving.
Oh.
Yeah.
So cool.
I miss his light gloving shows. So yeah, no, you should bring that back totally. Like I would be there. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
What do you have
like,
in store?
So what kind of like plans I have in store is like just collabing with others who have also a lot of lights and laser equipment. So we're just gonna combine that together.
Mega
then-
lights.
Yeah, because like it's like, oh, all these events are like happening. And then also as a starting DJ for myself, I'm like at the beginning. So then
Mm.
most people don't know who I am. How do I get gigs? So as someone with a more entrepreneurial background, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna create my own events.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
See this, he takes everything matters into his own hands. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be his own DJ, and then he's gonna
My
like,
own
make
light
his
person.
Yeah.
yeah, at Sugar Cafe, I was pressing all the buttons. Like I brought the smoke machine, so I had to make sure the smoke
Dude.
machine was on. I had the lights, the
Yeah.
top laser at the top, and to make sure that was all on, so that then I could do my laser thing. So that people thought like, oh, this guy's not DJing. I remember one of the comments was like that. I'm like,
The
"Oh,
hater
I-"
comments.
I was like, I was doing
Everything.
Yeah.
music, lights, smoke machine, and the lasers.
So like basically like if you were to be like a filmmaker, you were like the actor, the lighting guy.
Yeah,
like-
basically.
Producer.
Like
Yeah.
extra 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah, the like whole like there's long job title, but definitely something to do with that. And I'm looking into okay, so one other thing I should mention is that Toronto's hosting like an event called the Night Economy, and what they're gonna do is educate people
wow.
on how to get better the license permits, what's on store for Toronto itself. They're gonna talk about the new stadium that's opening,
Right.
and they're just gonna
Mm.
generally talk about like sort of a forum on like how I believe it's gonna be how can we open up the night economy more. That's one of the reasons why
Right. It's a little more closed off compared to Montreal and like of course like places in Europe like Amsterdam, Berlin. Yeah.
exactly.
We need to look into this. It's called
So-
Night
Yeah.
Economy.
Night economy is it's happening tomorrow
Oh.
on Wednesday. Unfortunately there's a huge wait list, but there's
Oh.
a virtual session that you can still join and still learn and like
Oh,
take
wow.
Oh,
notes.
cool.
Because
Right.
one of the things that my goal is to do like a church rave,
Yeah.
a
You guys
live
should just collab.
yeah,
Yeah.
a live music rave.
Save some
where-
funds. You guys are doing this like
Yeah.
you guys. I need to see this soon.
And the third thing is like something on the beach.
that'd be cool.
Sugar
actually-
Beach.
Yeah, Sugar Beach actually apparently it's not that hard to get permits. So I just have to learn how to get
Yeah.
the permit itself,
Yeah.
and then just
Get
do
some advice from like legal,
Exactly.
personal. What do you call it? Professionals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay.
One more thing I want to add before we move on to Ralph and his upcoming thing, because like since all this pop up, like I was staying in New York City for about 6 months, and they had this company where it was anonymous to music bands. So like they had a lineup, but you do not know the lineup at all. and it's like a BYO
Until they show up.
until you show up at the door,
Oh,
Mm.
right? And they don't even tell you where the venue is. So they would just say that, oh, I have this place Saturday, and it's in Midtown Manhattan, and it's around like, if you want it, and you register it on the spot. So they actually, when you register them, then they will send out the emails by choosing lottery picks from the list of people that they have signed up, and then whoever says yes will go to it, and whoever says no will go to the next one. So once you show up, you pay like $10, and then you enjoy live music. And sometimes all these venues are different spots, like office spaces on the 46th floor of a building.
How
And
many have you been to?
I've been to like 6 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because like
when did you live in New York?
2013, 14, something
What
like that.
the?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. So like so they do that, and it was like a weekend thing, and sometimes they have it on like weekdays, post after work hours. So like when everyone just leaves, and then just rent out the whole office, and
That's
you
so
bring like, they have some carpets and couches and like pillows they just bring, so that people can just sit around, and then they bring their own alcohol and they just drink. They don't even need to get a license because you bring your own alcohol.
That's sick.
Yeah, and since it's indoors, so you can just do it. So I mean, that's a idea. You can try it. So who knows?
Don't we need a license to serve alcohol though?
You don't serve alcohol. You bring your own
You just
alcohol.
bring your own.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
encouraging
Oh.
this,
Yeah.
right? We're not encouraging this. Please
Yeah.
drink responsibly. 19 plus in Ontario and 18 in the other provinces. And if you're in the States, 21 plus. Thank you.
I mean, if you do it in party rooms, at different condos, you need to hire a security guard, because if
Oh,
there's
okay.
alcohol presence, then you need to do that, right? But I do not know what the bylaws are in Toronto to do this kind of thing. So who knows? Maybe you guys can
there
do.
needs to be an SOP. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
you
Hey,
need to apply for
An
it.
office rave would be sick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So moving on to Ralph, what's next?
What's next?
Upcoming.
So right now I'm working on releasing my Clarity remix.
The
which
villain
is-
one.
Clarity?
Yeah, Clarity.
Whoa.
J Clarity.
Yeah,
Malik Clarity?
Aaron's Clarity. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just me. It's
This-
my remix. Yeah,
It's gonna be another one on his 36 different remixes.
Oh, yeah. Clarity is his
Yeah.
clarity list.
Yeah. There's so many people that want it, so that I'm trying to finish that tomorrow, but it's probably gonna come out May 9 or the Friday after that, which I think is May 16.
Are you gonna get somebody to play it at department? Or are you gonna
I don't know.
just drop it? It's like, oh, your song's debuting at department.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Do I know anyone who's playing at department?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
the just streaming phone.
Oh, they're
That's what I'm
Boom.
talking about.
Boom, that
It's
counts
May
because it's like
9.
it's actually
Oh,
in.
Even
sure.
I know this.
Oh
It's
my
even
God.
in
I feel so
there,
bad. I
yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, you can just
Um,
drop it. Like,
Yeah,
can
I
somebody
should.
play my track?
True. I'll
Eunice
ask
for sure.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I'll ask Aaron.
Yeah,
Aaron,
yeah,
if Aaron's
Aaron
there, but I
did
know
it.
Eunice.
That'd be cool. Apart from that, I have a show with a Heron's. You know what? Let me pull this up. I think it's
Yes.
with ANC.
La la la. Intermission.
A and C.
Yeah.
Shoot the shit.
Let-
Episode 2.
It kind of reminds me that ANC also rhymes with AMC. Maybe you can throw a rave at the
Shoot the
movie
shit and
party.
side
Yeah.
quest
Pretty
Steve.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're just sitting there.
Yeah, here it is. ANC. Yeah, it's an ANC party. They throw anime events, I believe.
Ah.
So it's a heroes and villains at the Rec Room.
Rec room.
It is
Wow.
on June 21, and I'll be performing with Cass.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of cosplayers and anime fans that have like rolled over into the just streaming community and like obviously hand in hand started to get into EDM more.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think Alex Kate has also had a part in
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been nice. I love it.
I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of cosplay and whatnot, that church rave, right, that I've been to, people were dressed up as like
Nuns.
No
That was fun,
way.
yeah.
That's
and, like,
wild.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We-
Jesus.
That episode, the other episode we were recording, I was saying like I'm not religious at all, but I'm like this sounds kind of wrong. Like I don't really like this.
sounds
but-
wrong.
To be entirely honest, when I walked into that church, from outside, that whole pathway walking to church, you just see that church,
Yeah.
that
You see
that
how
stress,
holy it is.
and then once you walk in, you're just like, I shouldn't. be
I remember like when I was
Wow.
lining up for it because like they mainly use red strobe lights.
Mhm.
So when you're looking out from the church and it's
Oh my
like
God.
the stained glass windows is red, just like
Yeah.
So it's like
And
it's
then
like
you see Jesus on the stained glass. Like
Yeah.
that's like kind of
It-
crazy.
Oh,
it was so
man.
cool because it reminded me of a game called Diablo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was what like that was the
It's like the
church.
POV.
Yeah,
like,
the
That's
church got
so
taken
funny.
over
Oh
by
my God.
different
Oh,
demonic
no.
forces.
Dude.
Oh man.
Oh
That's so
no.
joke.
Stay a while and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should read up upon it. I'll send you some.
Maybe
some
you could
videos.
scream at the
please.
church.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my Catholic parents would kill me.
But either way, a lot of events popping up in Toronto, and
A lot
I'm
of good
all,
stuff.
A lot.
Mm.
I'm all here for it. I think because like last year we kind of saw for normal events like you have that raver because people do not know which event to go to. There's a lot of like promoters trying to fight for market space between all the ravers, right? But now we are getting different types of events that are not per se raves. That last until like 5 a.m. or like that. Have daytime.
We
and
had
things like
darties
that.
now.
Yeah, so it's
Darties?
nice.
What's darties?
Day parties.
Oh, that's what they're
They-
calling them.
yeah, in
Oh,
college,
God.
like uni, they do a lot of darties.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's cute.
and I'm all in for it. Like I don't think that it's something different, so something fresh that you have a fresh energy of it, and like you kind of space out the events as much as you can. But I mean, I can't say it for some of the promoters here, but some of them do know that a lot of people fight. It's very cutthroat industry, so if you have the money, you can hire whoever you want, but if you don't, you just have to make do what you can, and
Hmm.
like it's rough out there. So we need more competition. I think competition is good. So go ahead, go ham, right?
Let's do it, Steve.
Yeah, do as much
it.
as you can.
Any final thoughts? Anything? Hot takes? Any shoot the shits?
Ooh,
Any shits to shoot?
I think more of like a final tip for especially you're talking about like getting started and like you yourself when you're getting started as a musician producing music, you're buying equipment, you're buying stuff. Remember that actually if you register as a sole proprietorship, you can have that all the stuff that you bought as an expense against expensed against your regular income, so that way you are saving on taxes because like now you are a business. Now, of course, there's some work to it. You have to do some bookkeeping,
Due diligence.
due diligence, making sure you keep all your receipts. But like, it is worth it because then, rather than buying a bunch of equipment and not making that go against your income to help you with your taxes, that's like a huge loss. So you're just
Yeah.
leaving money on the table. So
It's super
Yeah.
worth it. I got
Super
like
worth it.
1,300 back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
more equipment to buy.
Yeah, man.
exactly. Ralph, anything?
I think I would say that if you are someone who's getting started or is on the fence about it, or you just have a lot of anxiety about whether you want to go on a journey like this, it is long and it's tough, and you're gonna learn a lot about yourself. But
It's
if-
not a straight road.
It's not
Yeah.
a straight road, definitely
Yeah.
not.
Would you also say it's a leap of faith?
It's a definite leap of faith. But like, honestly, like I've had so many
Leap of faith.
leap of faiths, yeah, that it's just they're always so scary, but they're always so worth it. They're
Mm.
always every single one of them.
Giving me chills
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even,
So like
even if they fail, you bounce right back. up,
exactly, yeah, you learn a lot about yourself. So like I feel like a lot of people just need, if you don't have the courage, like it's worth it to muster it up
Yeah.
and like take that jump. I know it sounds scary. I know it's like
It's the scariest at the start.
yes.
All you have
Yeah.
to do is
Yeah.
say yes and or just do it.
Yeah,
Just do it.
Yeah.
Massive
Yeah.
amount of action.
Yeah.
Like how Steve said,
Exactly.
yes, and
And
then
then
you
you
Just
continue.
do it.
Yeah,
Do
and
it.
then
Yeah.
yes, and just do it.
And your plan.
yes, yes, and
And.
yeah.
Yes,
And-
bitch. Yes, bitch. Sorry.
All right. I think that concludes our segment for STS2, Shoot the Shit 2. So we do want to have some closing remarks. Our podcast is audience funded, and we have the description link at below if you want to donate some. And
PayPal
then-
donation link will be in the description.
We are huge advocates of
Thank you.
earplugs, so please do wear them. We do have a code for ears and also sound. If you want the group package, you go with here's, and you want the singular ones, you go with sound. We also are affiliated with a Air Alo, if I'm pronouncing it right. It's the eSIM for out of country, so you get 10% off if you use our
Traveling for
code.
festivals, traveling in general, you could use a data eSIM.
Yep. And then our newest one is actually Jelly IV. So if you are drinking a lot in some of these parties, Jelly IV will help you recover the next day. So it is a natural substance base that is jelly. Kind of have like the tapioca feeling of it. The tapioca, like the texture to it. So if you like those, go get one.
The most you can do with natural ingredients.
Yep. And all this information will be down in the description below.
And then we'll have Steve and Ralph drop their socials
Yep.
or their closing remarks.
Yes. You can go first.
Mine is at sidequest.steve.
And mine is at official Larion.
And you can find them both on Instagram
And TikTok.
and TikTok.
Woo!
And us too. All right. See you
Thank
guys.
you. See you
See
guys.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.